Let there be peace and love. Welcome to Satsang. Maybe you could come a bit where I see you better. No? And you are well? You hear me? Come here. You are that which never perishes because it never started. That's who you really are. It is right now, here, the instant you don't want to experience it, or to know it, or to feel it. Why? Because if I want to experience it, I has to rise. And not I alone. When all the world says I, which they say, they mean I am the body and the mind. They glue that concept to I. So, in what you are, which is right now, give an instant of not grasping any objectification of it. All the expressions, and I am such and such, is already a first expression. All the expressions, they rise from your own self, and they have their span of life in your own self, and they are swallowed back in your own self. So, for the one who searches to free himself or to know what's real, who he is in reality, that seeker, which is called I'm searching, I would love to realize what the wise men propose or suggest, which is the way to not to be fooled by the mind, not to suffer beyond what the body and the mind can experience. That is to ask from where I come. And it is an arrow, it is not a question which will have an answer in the mind or in the body. It is an exit, probably the unique exit to go back from where you never left. But the illusion of I is that I am losing myself, I am separated myself, I am far away from myself, I don't know myself. So there is a very simple exit from the objective mind. It is to ask this unique, subjective question, and the answer will be where the question disappears, you keep quiet. Now there are doubts, maybe convictions, attachments or desires which may make it difficult or may argue in such a way that one doesn't simply go back to himself. So satsang is to expose the so-called concept, idea, argument of the mind, doubts, and convictions too. Convictions are great to expose. So to just check if it is again a fooling of the mind or not. So if it is not clear, please ask. It may take some time, and that's how often we spend years in this path, to clarify the mind. And clarifying the mind here is not in learning new ideas or concepts or getting new experiences. It is emptying this bag that we think is real, the mind. So whenever something happens, you can be sure that it's not it. It happens to me. I experience this. I understand finally this. Happily, who you are doesn't depend on those means, on those senses, on this sense. Everything else depends on who you are. Who you are is totally independent, freedom by itself. So that is the menu of tonight. And please don't restrain yourself to expose, because you see, it's better not to enjoy too much a quiet state or a silent state or a joyful state in satsang. If it is a state, it's better to stir up and question whatever is possible to question, because whatever is left when you cannot question anymore, when there is nothing else more to negate, that's who you are. So rather than to fool again, having a new experience which looks like realization, it's better to check if this can still be questioned. Even silence, if it is in the mind, can be demystified, you see? And anyway, if you lose something there, it's for the best. Because what you are, you can never lose it. Don't worry. In fact, I think many have been in satsang for a few years. So if you had an experience like a glimpse, or a glimpse means you had a peep in yourself. And yet there is a but which looks still real. Please tell me, describe it. Because when an experience looks real, and I call that a glimpse of the self, one thinks that one day that glimpse will be permanent. So let us see together about that, if it is the case.
So I search, and I search for questions. I'm like, dang, I mean, shoot! And then I'm like, well, is that landing someplace where you have no more questions, you know? It's like, I really search.
You know, I'm very bad. I like to stir up.
Yeah,
but
I'm trying to stir up.
Yeah, we are not trapped then. No, I mean, you know, I just would wish that there is no suppression with any little state that one doesn't like to be touched. You know, because we get very attached to few states. It can happen.
Sure.
But if there is no question, how lucky you are. You know. Lucky you are. Because if there is no question, maybe there is not really I who was such a reality that he has to put a question.
For me, it's a point of surrender.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
total
but what
surrender.
Is surrender?
There is no I. Surrender in the I.
Yeah. Real surrender is not to surrender what I has got, but it's to surrender that so-called reality of I, or the belief I am something. That's all. That is the real surrender. Sure. And there is no question. There is no answer. It's not that. This cannot be described.
There's nothing to hold on to.
Yeah,
it just unfolds somehow.
Right.
keep stirring. Maybe there's something.
Don't worry. If
No, I'm
there
not
is
worried.
something,
Yeah,
it will
it will
come.
come.
And. But some, you see, they have questions.
Sure.
And it's their right to be cleared up. Because it's very important, even to understand that surrender, you see, you must have been clear up in your mind. Because one creates so many concepts about any word which is expressed. So, clarity, it's not realization, but because of clarity you can hear and flow that it will not be a state. It will not be who you really are, is not objectified. And I love the saying of Papaji in this. He says in one sentence, the ocean knows very well that the wave is ocean. But the wave forgot she's ocean. And I will add that the wave will never remember it is ocean. Because forgetfulness and to be reminded, it is in the mind. So here the wave has just to go back from where it came. In fact, it's all the self. From where I came. And then it's not a remembrance, it's realizing I always have been ocean. There was never a start and never a time in reality. Any beginning, anything which was not there before, will end at certain point. It's not that. It's not that.
Yesterday we came with the fire of freedom.
Little,
Yesterday we came, you said the fire of freedom.
Yeah.
I love it, but there is the I. I always thought that I'm free, I can do what I want, I can go where I want. I'm pretty lucky, but I always take I. So wherever I go, I take I.
Yeah, now you direct this I who is free, who has attained that freedom in the world, you directed it for real freedom, which is to be freed from the illusion I am I. You need fire for that. Otherwise who will do it for you?
Right, so how do I do it?
To love, to free yourself.
Okay.
So you are right. It is that I we still existent that needs fire for freedom, that needs that desire. It's to burn other desires or other concepts. You need this tool just to disappear from where you arose.
Okay.
That's all. But if you don't get that fire, you will not do it. You will know it maybe, but you don't do it. You are not taken by the direction. You are taken by the information, one information more in my brain or memory. And then it will not do. Right? So ask this question, very important question. Very essential question. So where are you then?
I'm messed up, missed, and
Yeah.
I looked in the waves this morning and I walked at the beach and I had this with the wave and the ocean and where am I and where is the wave and am I part of the wave and how do I go with my freedom and how do I go deeper and how do I leave my I and go beyond.
I tell you, but you don't hear. Listen,
I guess,
okay, you have all this consideration and self-inquiry and all, but you understood, or I asked you, you understood clearly that when I say I, can you not say I to express something in this world? Can you not utter I for anything in this world? Tell me.
One, I can say one instead of I can leave myself out.
Yeah, but who says one then?
Yeah, same, I.
It is I. So you cannot see the world, approach the world if you don't throw it out as I and then there is immediately a you or another.
Yeah.
This I as a concept of body-mind, as the other, as the world. So it's to make it clear, and if you don't understand, ask me more, that I is the root cause of the confusion. Because when we say I, there would be no trouble at all if we were not automatically gluing I, body mind, I, me as somebody. But we do, because of habits, because we believed in so many things, because the world tells so. So it's the root cause of the confusion, I am somebody. So there is only, it looks like, one exit. Or you take it directly. You are that itself, which never started and never ends. That's radically it. Or you take that tool, second best, from where I come, from where I could be expressed even as I. It must be that there is somewhere it arose, it originates. What is aware of that I? I is an expression, isn't it? Now that we spot I, it becomes an expression. Very obviously, what's aware of that I? Keep quite there. Well, tell me, it's important.
Gone.
Keep quite there. That's who you are. Don't search anywhere. That's who you are. That's what we search for so long. That's what the world searches in objects first. You slowly go questioning to arrive to self-inquiry or surrender. And as the mind will reappear, as he thought he has always been the master of this house, you see. Now you know, this is the mind. I will not be enslaved anymore. And if you still have the experience to be enslaved, go back there. Go back there. Now you know the place. Go back there. A moment is enough. See, it will give you this firmness, this non-questionable fact.
Many years ago, many years ago, you said the mind is a liar,
Yeah.
and that has been one of the greatest tools. Whenever my mind starts going to the past or worrying about the future, I just say, oh, the mind's a liar, and stop going there, and that has helped me so much. And I've helped many people also who come to me, my family, and I say, but the mind's a liar, and they go, what? And then something.
It's true.
It's really
It's so
true.
You cannot trust the mind.
No.
It will tell you everything else except that. That's why it's a good tool for the world, but not to realize yourself.
Maybe we should make some T-shirts. The mind is a liar.
Why not?
Yeah.
Yes, please.
You think that long periods of silence or non-interaction with the world can help?
This is two different things, huh? Silence and long interaction with the world, okay? It's opposite.
No,
huh?
long,
No.
non-interaction.
No,
Non-interaction. No, sorry.
Non-interaction.
which can help one to settle
No,
in that space.
no. It's not a space, you cannot be settled in it. There is nothing like this practice will not lead you there. It will lead you to be a person, somebody who has a certain kind of achievement in this world, which may be attracting and helping people up to a certain way, but not for realization. For realization, there is no way out. It is to dedicate, to first clarify your mind, not to be too crowded by concepts. Once it is, anyway, this is endless, but once it is not such a jungle, you may be attracted by, there may be something there about this I who is so busy to be silent or non-interacting with the world. And then you understand how it is not interacting with the world, it is by asking myself, after all, what is this I take for granted as a body-mind? Who you really are is not a body, is not a mind. So from where this idea, this concept, this I comes? You have to question yourself. Nobody can do for you. Keep quiet there. And probably do it again and again. Just a minute. I don't like long periods. Then it becomes a state. Just a moment when you are fired, it's enough. Just do that. Again and again, because of this appearance is a big risk. You cannot trust this appearance. But because of that habit to have trusted appearance. Are you clear? No, you have to clarify. Even if you don't like or accept, doesn't matter, but at least clarify your mind. Where are you now, for example?
I'm here.
What does it mean? My body is here? My body mind is here and I'm quiet. But you will not be quiet after some time. So you cannot rely on the states and experiences of your body. That's why I try to tell you. You know, I'm so happy, for example, not to confuse. Of course, these are good circumstances. You see, you feel well. It is a beautiful environment, and somehow everything is quietened. But it has nothing to do with realization. It's a gift of the circumstances.
My mind thinks, and that it is maybe for maybe a very small percentage of human beings can realize on this world in such a confusion that we are.
We are busy with you. Listen, you have the luck. You have the luck to be attracted by this question. Why do you throw it away? To delay? It's your birthright now to take care of that, which may not come next. It's a luck. It's an extreme luck, grace, you can say, to be a bit fiery, attracted by this, I agree, very unique question. What's reality? A question and you know that the whole world will think you are mad to question. I am a human being, I have to question it. No way. It's a delay of the mind. But it's too late, you're in satsang. You hear it. You can push it for some time only, you know. But please, ask. There is some fire there. It's good. Maybe it will be soon the time of the termits?
No, it's not one trace. Oh, there's the first one coming.
Maybe not.
Maybe because no rain.
Or maybe they want to come to science. You see, don't worry for the world. The world is the expression of the self. So you can dedicate your life to try to make the world more happy or better. But if you have this fire to realize the truth, maybe this world is not as real as you think. And maybe things are already perfect as they look. Even though for the mind, which is dual by nature, it will see good and bad, hell and heaven. It's already done. We cannot transform that. It's already done. It has always been like this. It doesn't mean that your life may not be, if it is your natural thing to be good and so on. But it's not about that realization. No? But everybody is free to catch or to follow his own real demand. Before dying, I want to do that, or I want to realize that, at least. That is up to each one. But don't think that it will lead you to realization to try to help the world to be more conscious. It's an utopia. It is already perfectly conscious in reality, because it is the self itself, but we don't know it.
Can we achieve mass critic consciousness on that planet very soon?
What?
Which
Mass
consciousness?
critique consciousness.
Mass critique?
Mass critique.
Mass critique?
It's like the concept that, when we are enough, suddenly we can really change the paradigm of all that planet because we're going to influence naturally what's going on around us. So is it Babaji was, I don't know, talking about that sometimes? Like we could really, because of we're strong enough together.
But for example, Ramana Maharishi, he was in the smallest place on the planet, this little room where he was sitting, he don't know much. I think it did tremendous work, so it did nothing. So, you see, he was free to care for the world, but in fact he did more. So that's what I say. Everybody is free to follow his own demand. Some are working, and it's very good to try to make it better. Some results are there, of course. But at some point, that same one may be miserable enough to just question, what am I doing? Is it so? Is it that the reality and whatever? And for those people, satsang exists also, you see. So we cannot debate them. It's the choice of everyone. And it doesn't mean that a free being doesn't, in a natural way, of course, in his own circumstances, he will just be natural. I never heard about a criminal.
Yeah, finally, just an happy planet, that could be great as well, no?
But it is an utopia, my dear. Doesn't matter. You can entertain that ideal, but it's already done. Who are we to add anything? What right do we have to change what? To change what? It's impossible. The appearance started and ends. And we are born and we die. It's dual. We cannot transform duality in oneness. It is an impossibility. We may have experiences of oneness, but they go too, you see. It's impossible. You cannot change that. What the confusion is to think that one day it will be love and harmony. It's a wonderful wish. Satsang always starts like this. It's a beautiful wish, of course. But one has to realize anyway from where all this appeared. From where I, who sees all this, appeared. From where? And keep quite there. That may do more job, you never know. Nobody knows. I think it's urgent to realize oneself, rather.
I think it's automatic, like the moment you go inside in the heart. Like
you have to speak loudly. I'm old woman,
okay,
Mastram. I am not like 20 years ago.
I think it's more automatic the moment you fall inside of yourself. It's like the good qualities, they just emerge by themselves. There's nothing to do. It's just like, that's just...
Well, I don't have the pride to be the goodness personified.
Say again?
I have not that pride to be goodness personified.
No, have I either, but I'm saying it's like, what happens is, that's how I feel.
But then,
like
you are nearly a saint, Sir Mastram.
No.
Yes, if you do more good and you are more, then
No,
you
I'm
get
not
saint.
doing.
You are good.
I'm not doing
I
that.
see so much light. You cannot deny. You become saintly. You cannot deny. You see, laugh, No, this is great. What? What is disappearance? They are just habits of the body-mind. So they will have their span of life, those habits. They may leave you, not all of them, they may leave your body and mind for a while, before you die, for example, but not totally, because this itself is the disease of a mind, this confusion itself. So, I think we cannot make those conclusions.
I think she might need a chair.
Let's go on the chair. You want a chair?
No, I'm okay.
Oh,
Are you okay?
I just want to ask something.
Yeah, please. Maybe-
Yesterday,
Yeah.
you said we need a mind, but just a bit for strength. And you said we have to fast the mind,
no, yeah, you didn't
to
understand.
starve it.
Yeah, okay.
I understood that.
Okay.
That we have to starve the mind.
Means not going into the mind.
Yes.
Starving the mind means don't enter your mind at all. Is there any mind then? Who is there? What is there? Don't enter your mind at all. What is there? Do it now. Just a split.
There's this big void. A void.
Ah, void. So forget about the void. What's there?
Presence.
Forget about the presence. What's there?
There's some light or some fire.
Forget about the light. What's there?
Breath.
You enter your mind to say light and presence. You enter your mind. It's too much a description. It's too much a description. And for a description, you have to enter your mind.
If I want to answer you, I need to enter my mind because I need words.
I didn't ask necessarily that you answer through words.
Oh.
And even the words I can recognize from where they come from. Otherwise, how do I speak? I use words. But from where they come from? So, when I say one feeds the mind, you see, if you say darkness, okay, something I know, it's in the memory, whatever. And now you say light. Is it not the same tool which sometimes may go in this and sometimes may go in that? It is exactly the same mechanism of the mind. Nothing has changed. The mind has not been questioned. If you believe that even those words, presence, light, whatever, are more real, more true, more yourself than all the rest, you trust your mind. And you will be, I tell you, miserable, because those will leave you. So, fast the mind, don't go into the mind, means for a split second, you see, it is not a matter of time. for a moment, don't catch anything, even that I which is in the mind. You just be as you already are. You have not to make effort. The effort will be not to catch because it's so automatic. But then be aware. Now start to be aware of what you do, of how you spend your whole life. You spend your whole life enslaved by the mind. You can't be freed from that. That gives more happiness.
See?
Huh?
See?
See? You don't understand.
No, I do.
You do? But you like it or not?
I love it, but I find it pretty challenging. My mind is stuck into habits and patterns and images, and it's like
Don't make that concept. You are free just now when you don't hear your mind suggesting you this thing. That's what I say. This, that your mind is stuck in so many things, this is a concept. You enter your mind. You see, if you enter your mind, you are in an endless vicious circle.
But what's the difference when I do self-inquiry? I do enter my mind to observe it.
But you don't hear. You need, because you identify yourself with body-mind, you need one thought which is created by this fire to get rid of all this illusion or this misery or whatever you call it, which makes you want freedom or to just be what you are. So the mind, it's a tool, it's a blessing, it's one thought only which burns other interests and thoughts and concepts. And that thought is not in the flow of objective world. It is in going back from where it originates. That is the particularity of that unique thought. Still a thought, I agree. Still I having a thought. But then the answer is, when you go back from where I come from, you don't need even to feel the direction, but you don't land where there is new suggestions of the mind. You just go there where this question ends. Keep quiet. There it is. That's what you are. Can you say any description from here? From here? Can you tell anything? You can't. Otherwise you will enter your mind. Or you give a new concept about who you are, presence. Then when you are not present, suddenly you are in absence and oh, I lost myself. It's not presence. Light. Suddenly there is something which doesn't look like the same light. Oh, and so on. No description will do. It's not true. It's not even emptiness. It's not even light. It's not even presence. It is not even why I don't know what is there.
So self-inquiry is actually not really looking for an answer. It stays.
The answer is exactly there where you keep quiet when the self-inquiry ends. That's the answer. That's the answer. But you have to keep quiet for a minute. For a second is already great. And since you know the way, go back there, now you know the way. You have not to search here and there, you know the way. Which is no way, because you are always there.
So confused.
Oh no, you're not confused. Why?
No, I say so. It's so obvious.
Ah, yeah, it's so obvious. obvious.
Kind of.
It is like, you know this example? You know this example? You search your glasses when they are on you. And suddenly, oh! You wake up. It's waking up. And one wonders, but what the hell I've been doing all those years? I was searching for what was already there. Because we listen to our mind. That's why. Yes, obvious.
It feels that the mind has a few good crutches.
Like what?
You know, like it helps you to do this or understand that, blah, blah, blah. And suddenly, all these crutches are boom, gone.
Yeah.
You feel like,
Yeah.
how am I going to walk now? How am I going to stand?
Yeah. Don't follow that. Surely, right. It will suggest all those things. How I will function in the world. No. He wants to delay you. He wants to take you back. You don't listen. For a period of time, it will be like this, very short. For 3 days, I tell you, if you don't listen that mind, you want it. You know for guaranteed that this is the mind. I'm not going there.
Still a bit of panic on board.
Don't look. Don't look. Let panic appears. Let it go. If you don't catch it, it goes.
Okay.
As soon as it appears. Don't catch it. What you are is already always there. So where can you be lost? You don't want to say anything? No, you.
Me?
Yeah. I was feeling something is going on here. You don't want to ask anything?
No, I think I'm a bit tired. I think I just drifted there actually for a moment. I don't have any particular question. I was thinking before of that notion, and you've mentioned it a couple of times, of once the I dissolves and you just are, and then it's just like, well, how do I function in the world? It can be like a common feeling of like, oh, what to do now, and that thing is, from then it's, people do whatever they do with the I dissolved, in the, what you called what you were calling the dream. Anyway, I was just thinking about that before when you were saying to that lady,
You see, the dissolving of the mind, of the eyes, is an experience. It's because we believed it was real, and we have an experience now, it dissolves. Still, it's a shade of an eye which experiences that. That's why when this goes, keep quiet. And don't go back to your mind to ask how I will function and all. Don't you see that everything functions beautifully? It will be like that. I reappear, but without the plug of the belief. But the reappearing I will function very well in his own circumstances.
I think confusion arises sometimes. That the eye is very useful to move in this world, to book train tickets, to book plane tickets, and people get confused that if the eye isn't there, how am I going to function in the world? But that's what it's for. That's its function, right?
But it's the belief that I is real which goes. But the I will, if this body doesn't die, if it is still there, this body-mind, it reappears and functions as before. But without the belief, I am real. You see? But it's true, one confuses that. But this is part of the self-inquiry, you see, to understand better and better, till one doesn't need the understanding. Sure. This is part of the self-inquiry. Master was a great example for that, Papaji, because you see, Ramana, we may say, oh, but he's like a saint. But my master was a man of the world. And he has worked for years. He had families. He had a sangha. He had everything. You see, and he functioned very well, like a general. General. No, I mean, you know. So he's a great example in that way. That one has to trust, yes, not to worry about that.
It's funny because the I is the origin of the separation, and here it sits and it grabs I am, I wanna, I go, I do. It's a funny paradox.
Yes, one can really laugh well.
Yeah, but when one is stuck in that I kind of isolation, isolation, separation, it is a very...
I experiencing, yeah.
That's when the need
Quality.
arises to actually run out and grab all
He
the stuff.
thinks he will solve things in removing that part of duality that he doesn't like much. Yeah. That's why it is not I who realizes, you see. It is when I disappears as a belief, I'm real. Who is there? And yet you see, even with those true insights, one has to be very vigilant that to the end of his life, not to trust this mind, which will always appear as long as we are alive in the body-mind. It's amazing. Because realization means who you are is not a fixed state.
Yeah, but that's why I get so desperate, because it's all this shifting.
But he wants to realize, I want to realize,
and
but
hold
it
on.
will not be him who realized. It is self-revealing itself. It's not the business of I thrilled.
Yes, question. There's many human emotions.
There is
many human emotions.
Yeah.
Do you feel there's a purpose?
A little louder.
Do you feel there's a purpose, like for anger or frustration or impatience? I was listening to a talk recently, and this teacher, an Indian teacher, someone was interviewing him, and he said, some people, and he talked to him about anger, and he said, some people need to be shouted at. It was just an answer that was given. And so my question is, do you feel that there's a purpose? Obviously there's the I is behind all of these emotions.
The purpose of what?
Pardon me?
To what? A purpose to what?
Just as an expression in the moment.
But
I don't know, I'm asking, what do you feel?
I don't understand the question. A purpose to what? To express? I don't understand the question.
Yeah, okay, maybe it doesn't make sense.
Is there a reason for emotions to be there?
Is there a value to it?
It's to make you search. It's to make you search your freedom.
Value. Sorry?
It's to make you search one day for freedom, because you always hit your heart and your emotional heart and head and whatnot, thinking there is some solution there, somewhere there, always beyond, and so. It's to make you search, finally. I'm exhausted by searching, I'm exhausted by experiencing, and I'm still feeling separated or unhappy or whatnot, you see. The purpose may be that one. It's a paradox. You need to feel ignorant or separated to search your own freedom. I don't see any other purpose.
The example she said was this Indian man, she was listening to a talk, and he said, yes, I shout sometimes because that person needed to be shouted at to wake up. So is there a purpose in that? That was kind of the...
Yeah, like the value of...
But you cannot discuss the behavior of a guide if you trusted him or elevated him as your guru. You cannot judge or ask why this and that coming from the guru you trust. If you come as a visitor, then all looks strange, you know. If he shouts or if he loves one and shouts at one and all this. But then it's not your guru. But if it is your guru, you cannot, you just are the prey of him or her. Because a real guru, his reaction is just to stir up your mind so that you are shaken from this hypnotism. Yeah. That is the purpose, you see. There is no other purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, that's all.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear well the question. So, yes, there is no other purpose. It's always to shake up this hypnotism, this tyranny of the mind. Yes, please.
It's not a question, but I just realized it seems like it's the definition of insanity to keep asking the mind, and it doesn't know. It can never really give us the answer. So.
That's why, to reply to you, you see at certain point, it's very good to visit many teachers to hear whatever you need to hear. But at some point, you have to stay with one. Otherwise, you see, you leave one because he shouts at you, and so this you cannot bear, and you doubt, is it right or wrong, and then you go to the other one till he does something again you don't like. I think, and the best way to trust is that I want that, whatever it is, and by your own demand, which is precise and clear for you, you will know where to stay. And then you work with that one. It's the best. At some point. Huh? And you know what you really want? Yes. Then that's good. And you found where to stop? You found where to stop?
Where to stop? Did you say?
Yes.
To stop to a teacher. To stay with a teacher. Not yet?
No.
It will come, it has to come. If you are clear with your demand, it has to come. It's a law. The law of the self. Or maybe the demand is still boycotted by other demands, which are as strong. You see? So you have to see that. Yes, please.
I heard you live in Portugal.
Yeah.
Yeah, you like it?
I love the place where we are. It's forgotten in the West.
Yeah.
So,
We thought about looking for a place in Portugal.
yeah, welcome. There are many beautiful places.
How is the name of the area you are?
Ah, that will not say in public.
She said,
It's very nice.
Yeah.
I do.
I look for places in Alentejo.
Yeah, that's a very good place.
Nice, eh?
Yeah, you can go there. My brother is there. Gurubai. Very good.
You mentioned trust before, and it feels like trust is very important. And through a life of believing I could make things happen or stop things happening and realizing I had there was no door that couldn't make it. It's like I just trust more and more that the right things will happen, and they do.
Yeah, even if it doesn't look right.
Yeah, then
we never know.
We never know, but and it makes it so much easier because you stop all this mental agitation
I
about
know.
it. Yeah.
Lucky you are to see that.
Well, at 78, I've done so many mad things in my life that you hope there's a little bit of sense.
Finally, a little wisdom. A big wisdom. But we have to try so many things. We have to be, to finally maybe, okay, now I've known, maybe it's enough. What more can I, Maybe it's enough. And then one.
And a lot of it's been fun.
Oh, no doubt about it. But still, even the fun has not done it, isn't it?
No, it hasn't.
Even the fun has not done it. So there is no escape to surrender or self-inquiry. There is no escape. To simply keep quiet. So, is there any little monster still there, or yeah? A French monster.
keeps questioning me about silence and quietness. You say to the Brazilian guy that isolating oneself into silence was not a prerequisite or needed.
Yeah.
I was wondering if you could just expand a little bit about this, because my understanding is that silence and quietness facilitates the...
Yeah, I understand.
Yeah. Otherwise we would have satsang in a train station. Or
Yeah. No, we can
Of
have.
course.
We had a lot.
We have.
I mean to say that don't think that this satsang is appreciated if you didn't do so much practices. And for most it's like this, but there is also so many people who just had so much misery that it was enough, and they want to finish off with illusions. So we cannot say this will lead to hear this or that, but it looks like it happens very often like that. But once you hear about self-realization, forget about what brought you here, means about all the practice you did up to now. Because if you continue, you feed the mind. You feed the fact, I believe I am a meditator, or somebody. And that itself is the confusion. Did I reply enough?
Yeah?
Anybody else wants to?
But even if after realization, meditation can be there.
Oh yes, some people have this temperament to simply
Or
just
yoga
keep
or
quiet.
whatever the
but
practice
you know,
is.
But you cannot say.
That's what
you
took
cannot
me there.
say you have to. You see, yeah. Well, after you cannot recognize actually who freed or freedom is in an appearance of somebody, because it can be going on like before. It can give more quietness. You cannot. So we cannot. It's not like a practice. Then it becomes natural eventually. One loves to keep quiet sometimes. But I think the question was if it was necessary. And you see, it is anyway needed to dedicate a moment from where everything rises. Don't think that it's because it's so short in time that it is less powerful than anything else. It's a big tapas to say no to rooted habits. But you can do it. You want to do it because you want to free yourself. Yes, please.
No, if I understood what you just said to me before, even though it wasn't what I was thinking, but you were saying that if I understood that maybe if my fire is more that maybe a teacher will come. I don't know if that was what I understood.
But the fire can go in many directions. Huh?
Yeah, I question that. I mean, I know well, I was saying in my understanding in Indian tradition, they say this a lot, that, having a teacher, finding a teacher. I'm not against having a teacher, finding a teacher, and I've had many teachers.
Yeah.
But I've never felt that it's essential.
What is essential then?
For that which you talk about for what you talk about in satsang, that it's essential to have a teacher for that.
You don't think it is essential?
She doesn't
Then-
think it's essential to have a teacher.
But then how will you, then you will trust what the mind may suggest you? Because you see, when you have a teacher, what he will point out, he will not tell you to believe in this and that when it is in this line, in this very, very pure line of Ramana Maharishi and Papaji. Okay, which is the self. You are the self. You always have been that, you see. How can you trust your mind? It is exactly what is said in satsang by the teacher. But don't trust your mind. How will you know, let me just finish, that what you experience is not still mind? How will you know? Your mind will not tell you, hey, you are in a beautiful experience, but still you have to demystify it. It's not the mind who will tell you that. It's the teacher who will see you, or something you express, he will tell. It's not that. Otherwise, how will you know?
Well, I guess you won't. I guess you won't. I mean, that would be great to have a teacher to point that out. But I feel that we are always, we're always.
But then don't go to satsang, then you are done. If you really, if it is.
No, I don't mean that. I don't mean I'm here. It's not like.
But that you are in
like
satsang because you need a teacher to help you to just.
Well, I mean, right now you are my teacher.
Yeah, right now.
Yes.
But okay. But look. You believe probably that all the teachers indicate the same thing. I don't believe so.
No, I don't.
Okay. Oh, that was fun. It's a frog?
It was a frog.
It's a frog.
A real frog.
It's a real one.
It's another teacher.
Yeah. Yeah. But then you have to stay with that one. Is it clarified? You don't go out of here if it is not clarified. It's a simple matter. It has to be clarified. It will help you,
Yeah.
How will you know ever that you don't fool yourself if there is not somebody pointing out? How?
But that somebody has to be awakened.
No, but it was her question. I come to you later. Maybe it's not your problem.
It is part of it.
Then I come to you later. Wait. Yeah?
I guess that thing of which we are, which is never left.
Yes.
It's our birthright, and it's
Okay.
the self, yeah. And so I think that.
But don't think. Just be then.
Yeah.
Don't think anymore.
Okay.
Just be that, and then it's over.
So I'm saying, when you're saying, what is it or who is it that you can say it's just the mind fooling you, but we're all,
No, speak of you.
I
Please speak
Yeah,
of that. Yeah?
Yeah, I guess all I can say is that, that I guess I won't know that the
I
mind.
thought you translate that.
Yes, I
I'm
translate.
sorry, I don't understand her well. I'm
what
sorry,
she
my
said
English is not good.
is that she gets that. She understands
Yeah.
that the self is never changing, and it
Yeah.
always is. So therefore she doesn't feel, and her initial question was not about a teacher actually. So she's wondering, is it essential? If I realize that, why would I need a teacher to tell me that's not it? When I realize the self is here and always has
But when
been.
you realize the self, there is no question of even asking of confirmation. But you are here.
Sorry.
You know it, but you are here. Why? Because it's a knowledge, it's not a realization.
Yeah, I was asking about the necessity of a teacher.
It is absolutely necessary. Vas. You like it or not, it is. You know.
I also had many teachers in my life. I was.
But I don't say it's not good. Of course, you see, you need to check up. Am I at the right place or not? Does this teacher offer what I want, what I need? In fact, for that, as I said, you need to know more and more. And that, of course, it takes some years to really see and understand what you want to realize before dying first. The priority of your life. What is it? It can be so many things. And there nobody has to argue. That is the freedom of everybody. Now, if one wants, I want to know myself. Not psychologically. I want to know what's real. So he goes to many teachers to check up. Doesn't feel yet there, sometimes there, but after some time, and so on. So it means it's not yet done. Because probably there is more different demands still, which are as strong. But then let's say that demand becomes more and more clear, and it is clear, I want that. That teacher will appear. Then one stops there and works with him. Because that teacher is exactly corresponding to the demand you have. That's all. That's all.
When David Godman asked Papaji, who are you, Papaji? He said, I am your own true self. And in his presence, that's what happened.
Yeah.
So the right master appears for the right person.
Yeah, that's what I tried to say. It's exactly, Yeah, but many may say, I'm your true self, and 10 minutes later, but you have to keep silence for 10 days, and you have to do this, and you have to do that. So we have to see, because this can be learned. All the words of the master are in the books. You can learn them. So it depends from where it comes. And that you can see what is around, what comes after that. If it is always, for example, go back from where you come, keep quiet, there is nothing added. But if it starts to give some practices and this and that, it means the direction is different, which is all right. But then you have to know those things. It's part of the self-inquiry. Your discrimination will be sharpened and sharpened. It's very important. If you want a toffee, you don't go to a butcher shop. It's like that. Okay. Au prochain, please.
But Ramana Maharshi, who is his teacher?
Listen,
Arunachala?
Ramana is one of those rare exceptions who pretends to be what that rare exception will become in 1,000 years, and still he surrendered to Arunachala. But generally, it's a living master. Maybe you are one of them. We will see it with the time, with the history, and that's okay. But you see.
how does that concept of karma is
Bullshit.
in
You drop it. You drop it. No karma here. You drop it.
I'm so relieved.
Yes. Yes. Don't bring karma here. Don't spoil it. What a bad idea. Don't go there. You can sleep well, there is not something coming up yet.
Yeah, because when we look at masters, awakened masters who are delivering some satsangs, and they enter right into the person's questioning, I have the feeling sometimes that they have a special course of time, kind of within few decades, they come to that grasping or that being and so on. Whereas I'm like, kind of struggling and
because you are still
why
a
I
seeker.
still don't get it and why.
Because you still consider yourself as a seeker. They don't consider themselves for anything. So they are not troubled about that.
Yes.
And that's what I try to indicate. It's because you take yourself for somebody, for I am born, that you are troubled, struggling. So from where I come, instead of being busy, I'm born, I'm not born, I'm eternal, I'm not eternal, I'm mortal, ask from where I come. Yeah?